All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to more Yu-Gi-Oh! My name is Raven from the Sky. Let's do this. Ib was held captive. The stolen ritual wand was sealed inside the core of a Mech Knight Blue Sky, its power source. She'd been captured forcibly, but up to this point, the Mech Knights hadn't laid a hand on her. Ib was deep in thought. The Great Darkness is using the crawlers to threaten humankind. What if humankind's perception of the Mech Knights had been wrong all along? Meanwhile, Uram and the party arrived at the base of the Mech Knights after their long quest to rescue Ib. Ruins of a forgotten civilization lay before them, the husk of decayed buildings long buried by crustal movements barely broke the ancient Earth's surface. Among them, artifactual forms lay untouched in pristine condition. There, the activated World Legacy World Shield shone brightly. The World Legacy, known as the World Lance, rose sharply out of the earth. Even with the power of the World Chalice, it was a fool's errand to challenge the Mech Knights. Following Lee's words, Uram and the group decided on a sneak attack on the World Shield. For the party, a knight appeared, then another. Previously, they wouldn't have stood a chance, but now it was different. They had to rescue Ib. The determination made them fight with blood-curdling ferocity. Sensing danger, the Mech Knights transformed into a united form, the Mech Knight Spectrum Supreme. I think the starter deck you get is World Chalice. The regular deck is World Chalice. That's probably why we didn't unlock a World Chalice deck. Oh, look at the water. That's a cool board. It's like an island. You would get lucky. Stupid defense. Oh shoot! I can use that next turn. Oh, I gotta use it. And it went through. Okay then. Crap. See ya. Man, you guys don't know how long that took, man. I was on that struggle bus trying to try to beat that mission, man. Aram and friends battle the Mech Knight Spectrum Supreme, the culmination of the Mech Knights' power with all their might. As the tide turned in battle, Ningirtsu gathered his strength and put his all into one decisive strike of his spear. However, his attack was parried by the Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme, opening a large hole in the wall. The already fragile ruins couldn't withstand the impact and began to collapse. Before the dust settled, so as not to be noticed by the Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme, Ninjutsu directed a subtle glance toward Lee. Noticing his glance, Lee nodded slightly and slipped from the battlefield. She'd signaled her intentions to infiltrate the base alone and rescue Ib. Lee flew feverishly before finally arriving at Ib. Ib breathed a sigh of relief, then saw Lee there, unharmed. But her relief was short-lived as she learned that the others were battling the Mekk-Knights. Maybe it was they who were wrong to battle the Mekk-Knights. To know the truth, she had to stop the battle immediately. As Ib uttered those words, Lee, who stood in front of her, now slowly turned around. Upon their first meeting, Lee had greeted Ib with the warm smile of a fairy. But her smile had transformed to a now blackened and hideous. Terrified, Ib sought to scream, but her consciousness was consumed by deep darkness before she could utter a noise. Urim and the others continued to battle. All of a sudden, an explosion occurred inside the facility. Immediately, Urim left as if the world chalice awakened again. Though the feeling was now greatly intensified, everyone on the battlefield stopped fighting, transfixed at the moment. Just then, a figure appeared. She was standing on the mountain of the debris before them. It was a visage of Ib unmistakably from head to toe, but her face betrayed something sinister. Her eyes glowed mysteriously, and an evil aura emanated from her body. These signs suggested that the figure before them was not Ib they knew. Her laughter was nothing like that of Ib. She now spoke to the confused group. I am Lee. This body is now mine. Sweet Ib was no longer here. The feminine resonance of her voice was now poised with a booming dissonance. Urim and the others glared at her with confusion and anger. Meeting their gaze, Nightmare Corruptor Ibli emitted a force field. The force field now forcibly absorbed the power of the world chalice within Urim and the others, and now it threatened to take their lives. However, it would be the Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme, whom they'd been fighting to the death just moments before, who rescued them. Throwing itself at them, the power of Ibli was so great it caused the form of the Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme to become unjoined. Separated into 7, the Mekk-Knights were severely damaged, and Ibli, the familiar hand, proceeded to extract the cores from each of the Mekk-Knights one by one. It was now clear there was a great danger in Ibli, possessing both the power of Ib as well as that of the ritual wand. Seeking to prevent this, the Mekk-Knight Blue Sky sought to transfer control of the wand to someone other than Ib. Showing considerable growth in battle, Urim was the one chosen as the wand's successor. Ibli's power created a shockwave that launched Urim to the edge of the cliff. The Mekk-Knight Blue Sky stretched out its arm to help him. Wordlessly, their gaze met. Urim sensed in his heart that the knight was trying to convey something when a dazzling light shone suddenly. The next moment, Urim adorned in new armor, not of the world chalice, and holding a sword in each hand, stood at the edge of the cliff as Mekk-Knight Avram successor to the ritual world. So he's a Mekk-Knight. Once owned by Ib, the ritual wand was passed down through generation in the village of the Forest of the Stars. It was the key to the fate of the stars and held the power to unlock world legacies. In a split-second decision, Urim had been chosen to succeed the wand, not by the wand's controller Ib, but by the Mekk-Knights. Then, the succession of the key was split into two, just like its pair sword was. Knowing Ib, just resting inside of her, still possessed the key's power, Ibli set off to gain possession of the world's lands before Urim could reach it. Urim chased after her, determined to stop her. However, in his path stood the Nightmare Beast, born from the power contained in the cores that Ibli stole from the Mekk-Knights. Urim, having just received his new powers, had to contend with the formidable strength of 6 Nightmare Beasts. Now, Ninjutsu, who rushed to Urim's side along with Imduk, said to him, We'll hold them back. You go ahead. His voice was quiet but resolute. Having lost the power of the world chalice, Ningirsu knew he would be powerless to stop Ibli, even if he could catch her. Without waiting for Aram's reply, Ningirsu leaped out facing the beast, spear in hand. Though nearly powerless, Ningirsu still deftly handled his spear as if possessed. As the nightmare mermaid was crushed, the beasts all turned their heads toward the spear wielding in unison. He must have wanted to pursue his little sister more than anybody else. Aram took off to pursue Ibli, the world lance, with the determination of Ningirsu as the wind in his sails. Left alone, Ningirsu continued to fight by himself, his roars echoing throughout the battlefield. Oh, wow. She's a card herself. Oh, I don't think so. Just in case. Aram rushed to the base of the world lance, but it was too late. By the time he arrived, Ibli had already finished activating the world lance. With the newfound power of the world lance, Ibli launched an aggressive assault on Aram. With such destructive force that each blow shook the earth, Aram faced the attacks alone. In the face of those attacks, Aram now lay wounded on the ground. Ibli moved to pick up Aram's discarded sword, now swinging it over and over, as if to check its weight. Then Ibli moved in closer to inflict the final blow on Aram. Aram couldn't move his upper body, let alone stand up. Just as Ibli raised the sword to strike, a small shadow appeared from Aram's cloak. The young dragon, Imduk, summoned his otherworldly power between the young boy and the girl, determined to help his companions in their time of crisis with whatever he could muster. That power suppressed the evil that dwelled in Ib, if only for a moment. By suppressing Leaf's evil spirit, the spirit of Ib that had resided deep in the depths had now awakened. Aram laid on the ground powerless. Imduk was exhausted of his powers and unable to move, and Ib was now holding the sword in her hand. Realizing her situation, she made a decision. Only she could put an end to Lee's evil desires. her hand that held the sword now tense with strength. Lee realized Ib's intentions and tried to resist, but Ib's awakened spirit overcame her. She sees a flashback of her childhood friend desperately calling in her direction. The young girl drew short, rapid breaths, points the blade towards herself, and when Ningirsu arrived at the scene, he saw his childhood friend holding the limp body of his little sister in his arms, repeatedly calling her name. At the cruel end of this surreal scene, the older brother could do nothing but stand there, stunned and speechless. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to help the channel and the series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.